the Addy Talk Show. Africa once had the advantage. Well, my friends, in the early 1960s, Kenya sent aid to South Korea and even loaned the country $10,000. At the time, South Korea was recovering from war and was one of the poorest countries in the world. But today, South Korea is home to global brands like Samsung, Hyundai, LG, Kia, with an economy worth over $1 trillion, while Kenya's economy is only a fraction of that size. So how did countries once poorer than many African nations race so far ahead? And what can Africa learn from that journey? Well, my friends, let's look at Africa and the path that changed. When many African countries gained independence in the 1950s and 1960s, the future looked promising. Ghana was one of the Africa's most prosperous economies. Zambia was benefiting from copper wealth. Nigeria's oil sector was also growing rapidly. Egypt had industries, universities, and infrastructure that many developing countries admired. At the same time, countries like South Korea, Singapore, Vietnam, and even China faced war, poverty, or had very few natural resources. Few people expected them to overtake much of Africa economically. But over the decades, the story changed. Many Asian countries invested heavily in education, industries, export, and infrastructure, while several African nations struggled with political instability, corruption, conflict, debt, and dependence on raw material exports. The result was a growing gap between countries that once seems to have similar potentials. Now, my friends, let's look at, is the problem only external or is there something else? Some people blame colonialism, unfair trade systems, and foreign exploitation for Africans' struggles. Why those factors matter, countries like South Korea, Vietnam, and Singapore also faced serious challenges and still moved forward. The difficult reality here is that many African countries have also struggled with corruption, weak governance, poor planning, and political instability. The story is not simply about what was done to Africa. It is also about decisions made within Africa. So the story of Kenya and South Korea is not really about aid. It is about transformation. It shows that natural resources alone do not create prosperity. The real question is not how South Korea became rich, but how and why many resource-rich African countries have struggled to make the same progress that others are making. So, my friends, what do you think? Let us know in the comment box. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Addy Talk channel, where we'll give you a voice and celebrate your impact. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.